Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your listening and viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted, to address whatever topics you might like to discuss, whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. We are here broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio, where you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships, whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind. God is concerned about that which concerns you. And that is the reason that we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. Now, as I indicated, we are here Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted, where we broadcast live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio. But there are so many great things going on at New Life Christian Center right now. Things are going to look a little different. We're going to be on and off the air on various days, just depending on the schedule, but we are here with you to discuss whatever topics are important to you, and we are here in the FijiWater.com sponsored studio live, where 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji Water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature, it is untouched by man? It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery. And you will save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the contribution pages of our websites at New Life Ministries International.com and NewLifeInternationalCDC.com, and those of you who use the link provided on YouTube or on Facebook, and those of you who are now using Zelle on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. We thank all of you for your continued support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So I want to say this because it's real important that everyone understand. We are here as often as we possibly can be on the air. But right now, we're just asking all of you for your tolerance because, and thank you for staying tuned in with us. We have so many great things going on, and we're excited about what God is doing at New Life Christian Center and in all of our social programs, all of our community development programs. So I just want you to know that we are always here for you. Of course, we're always praying for you, but we are here with you as often as we possibly can be, scheduling permitted, right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So as you know, all of you who have been with us a long time, and those of you who are new to the broadcast, we every month have a FijiWater.com sponsored promo. And so all you need to do is go to our internet radio station, WKAPFaith.com. The first three songs you hear at 11 a.m. or at 6 p.m. List those songs, text them along with your name and your email address to the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. One of our listeners and viewers every month will be selected to receive a case of Fiji Water from FijiWater.com. So what happens is we have a case. You're selected. If you're selected, you will receive a case of Fiji Water from FijiWater.com. So once a month, a new listener and viewer is selected, but someone will be selected to receive a case of Earth's finest water from FijiWater.com. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated you have a sibling who has not done very well in both personally and professionally. You said, however, she does not put forth the effort to make progress. You said she's just living the way your family has always lived without progress. And you are concerned that she's going to spend the rest of her life doing the same thing that everyone else has done. So here's the issue. I'm going to unpack a lot of what you just addressed in your communication. The problem is that everyone has the opportunity to make their own choices. But before I get to the power of our choices, let's talk about what you have observed. And what you've observed is her personal life and her professional life has not been what you would term as successful. But then you said she doesn't put forth any effort. You also said in your communication that she's had opportunities to make change, and she's chosen not to make changes. So she continues to perpetuate the personal and professional problems that she's had in her lifetime. You said she's not getting any younger. None of us are. You said she just lives life the same way that your family has always lived, without making progress. You are the exception to the rule. You have, like anyone else, had life struggles, but you've been able to overcome those struggles in order to become or to have some success. You want the same for your sibling, and that's understandable. But once again, now what comes into play is the power of our choices. And I realize everyone has their own life dynamics, but the power of our choices will determine much of what our dynamics will look like. The power of our choices will determine what much of our life dynamics are going to look like. I wanted to repeat that because it's real important that we understand that. Each and every one of us gets to make a choice. How we're going to live our lives. And then you have to put in the work to accomplish the things that you desire to accomplish. You can sit all day long and dream. And that's what your sibling does. You can sit all day long and dream about what you would like to accomplish. But if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. If you don't write it down, it will not happen. So it just becomes a dream. When you write it down, it becomes a plan, and a plan becomes a goal. And until she starts making some plans, she's not going to accomplish goals. And here's the problem that we have in our society today, and I'm going to say this because it is significantly important. Part of the problem that we have in society today is that most people are just living life based on how the wind moves today. Now I have to admit, I plan for every single day. I plan for every hour of every day. But I will admit, today I was caught a little by surprise because I was not expecting it to snow in our area. I don't know how I missed that on the weather, but I was a little surprised to see snow falling in our area today. But that snow's not going to disrupt the plan that I put in place. It might require me to make some revisions. It could be something as simple as, which I didn't have it scheduled today, for our cars to be washed and waxed. But if I had that scheduled for today, I would have to move it to a different day because that caught me by surprise. And truth be told, it's still snowing It's not snowing as hard as it was when it initially started, but it's still snowing. I was caught a little by surprise. But it's also that time of year where snow's going to fall. So I say that to say I have a plan for every day. I have a plan for every hour of every day. That's the only way we're going to get things accomplished. That's the only way we're going to make progress. It's the only way that we're going to become successful or maximize our success. But your sibling doesn't plan. Your sibling is just waking up in the morning, and whatever life presents, that's what she deals with. That's not conducive for her to make progress. The problem is she's learned that habit from many of the people in your family. There are a few other exceptions in the family. Maybe I should say a couple of other exceptions. But the reality is that we emulate the people we give the most of our attention to. We begin to emulate them. We begin to develop habits and traits based on what we see continuously, what we put before us continuously. And if you don't put your vision, or if you don't have a vision to place before you, you will begin to place the lives of other people before you. And that can be detrimental if it's family members, and it can be disastrous if you're emulating people outside of your immediate sphere that, for example, on social media, who are doing whatever they're doing. The problem is in our society today that many people are just living based on whatever happens. Now, I'm not talking about they don't get up and go to work, but when they're before their work hours and after their work hours, it's whatever the day brings. It's whatever way they want to live today, which is not conducive. It's not sustainable, and it's not conducive for success. The problem is that she's made a choice to live that way, and you can't concern yourself with the choice that she has made. You have to allow her to live out her choice. And you just have to keep working to try and be an example of how to do something different, to do it a different way. That's all. You have to be that example. We all have to be an example to those who are watching us. And if we do that, then we've done our part. I'm going to pray for your sister. I'm going to pray for your family. But I'm going to encourage you, just keep doing what you're doing. Be the example. And hopefully someday they will see the results that you've accomplished, and they will seek better for their lives. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. If you're not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may have the opportunity to become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill. At T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers. However, before I do, I want to remind all of our listeners and viewers, this segment is brought to you by PorscheAmerica.com. If you are in the market for a high-performance automobile, one of the finest high-performance automobiles ever manufactured, go to PorscheAmerica.com, where you will have the opportunity to virtually build out the Porsche you desire to own. And if you're in our area, just go to simply go to PortiaDelaware.com. Ask to speak to Mike Didio, who is the general manager at PortiaDelaware.com. He will have someone assist you in selecting the Porsche you desire to own. And if you are in our area and you currently own a Porsche, but you're just in need of service, go to PortiaDelaware.com. Ask to speak to Mike Adams, who is the service manager at PortiaDelaware.com. He will have someone schedule an appointment for you. They will pick up your vehicle at your home or office and return your vehicle to you when your service has been completed at PortiaDelaware.com. And they'll provide you with a loaner vehicle. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated your children have both returned home. You said one is male and two are females. So, you said the problem is they appear to be happy being at home and do not appear to, they appear to be happy living at home, you said, and they do not appear to have a plan to do anything different because they're spending their money on other things. Okay, so here's the issue. There's a couple of components going on here. You have adults now back in your home who are all in their 30s. You know, they range from 31 to 38. So, you got adults living in your home. And I want to be clear about what I'm going to say. It's not a problem that they came back home if they came home to save money to buy a home. That's not a problem. It's a problem if they came home so they don't have to spend money to live, but they want to spend money to play. That's a problem. So you say they're spending their money on other things. They don't seem to be making any plans to do anything different. You're going to have to sit down with them and develop a plan. The plan for the male, your son, is going to look different than the plan for your daughters, the females. And the reason is because a male, there are certain expectations for a male. There are separate expectations for females. And the reason is because, it's perfectly fine if your daughters are home with you until they get married. It's perfectly fine. Now, even after children get married, we have to understand that the generation behind us as baby boomers is different than our generation. So our generation, we worked hard to become homeowners so that we could, be married, have children, raise our children in a comfortable environment, and that was we understood that as our duty. But corrupt society has disrupted the minds of the generations behind us. And what I mean by that is they're only focused on what makes them feel good. You can't spend money on just what makes you feel good. You have to sit down and you have to develop a plan. And part of that plan may be that the two ladies get an apartment together, save their money so that they can save some money and then become homeowners. It may be them just staying at home until they are married or until they save enough money to buy their own homes. The male, I get it. He's home right now because he's not married, but he has a child, needs a little help with when he has his son. These are all dynamics that as parents we're there to at least participate in helping them navigate their lives and perhaps become actively involved. Depends on the circumstance. But here's what you need to know. No matter which, whether it's your son or your daughters, you've got to sit down and develop a plan. What is their plan moving forward? Because I just want to be able to do what I want to do with my money is not a plan. See, I'm all for, let me take everyone down this lane. I'm all for family. I'm pro family. That's what I am. So if your children want to come home and save their money to buy a home, I'm all about that. That to me is a method of building wealth. It's a method of maximizing their success. I'm all for that. Even if one of them were to get married and wanted to save money and live at home temporarily to save money and buy a home, I'm with that, even that, because you want family to maximize their opportunities. But, however, moving home to have money to just do the things you want to do is not a plan. And we have to stop enabling our children to do that. What we want to assist them with doing is build their own wealth. If we do that, then we're helping them make progress. The rest of it, what society's doing right now, just so they can go out and take pictures of plates of food and take selfies because they went on a trip, and no, that's not ever going to build wealth. We got to stop the madness. And it is madness. We got to stop the madness. We got to get back on track, understanding the importance of building family and building wealth. We got to get back on track and stop the madness. And right now what's going on in our society is truly madness. And so I want to encourage you to just sit down with your children, have a conversation with them, sit down with them and develop a plan. Sit down and chart out a plan. Write it out. Have everybody get a notepad and a pen and take some notes. Because anything else is not going to lead to the family maximizing your success and experiencing the fullness of God. We've got to stop the madness. And it truly is madness right now. So let's just do better. And this is for all of our listeners and viewers. Let's really focus on what's important. And that's going to take me into the next communication. Before we go there, I just want to remind all our listeners and viewers this segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at their retail stores. They have everything a man could possibly need. And if you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. And right now, if you order from Charles Tyrwhitt, you can receive 3 high-quality cotton shirts for $99 at Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. And The White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. So if you're in New York, stop in at their retail store. They have everything you could possibly need. Home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And if you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are finding it difficult to focus. You said you were discussing this with some friends who indicated this often happens at the end of the year. However, you are concerned that many things will slip through the cracks if you don't get focused. Well, you're right. Things will slip through the crack if you do not keep your focus. So you want to know, how do you get back into focus? And I'm going to share with you a method that will allow you to refocus your attention on what's important. So you've got to look at, and I want all of our listeners and viewers to pay close attention to this, because we have really three things that are important in our life. They are our personal lives, they are our professional life, and our purposeful life. So those three categories are the most important thing. Your personal life, the life that God has given you, the life that God, you have to be a good steward over the life that God has given you. So your personal life is going to be real important. That includes and encompasses family, friends, and loved ones. Your personal life is going to be important. Your professional life is going to be where you spend your most time. So you've got to give attention to your personal life. You have to give a commitment to your professional life. And then you really have to be diligent about your purposeful life. So, and some of these will encompass one another, but you've got to make the main thing the main thing. Those three things are the main things in our lives. So often you've heard me talk about the personal. Often you've heard me talk about the professional, personal success, professional success. The purposeful success has to be, first of all, getting a clear understanding of what God has done in your life, what He's doing in your life, what He desires to do in your life. So there's 3 Ds. Done, doing, and desires. You've got to know that what God has already done has brought you to the place of what He's doing. All of those life experiences, all of the things that you've done to date, all of the ebbs and flows, trials and tribulations, circumstances and challenges, whatever they may have been, whatever they may be, they brought you to this place of what God is doing in your life. And now what He's doing in you and through you. So you got to get a clear understanding of that, which means you got to work on your relationship with the Lord. So let me say that. And then you got to look at, and once you have worked on your relationship with the Lord, then you can get into what God desires to do in your life, in you and through you. If you focus on those things, you will find that you won't have time to be distracted by anything else. Those 3 things will make certain that you keep your focus. Tune out all the noise, all the chatter about what everyone else is doing, and stay focused on what God desires to do in you. This segment of the broadcast, today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast, 3D, has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery. And you will save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless